All right, back to the couch. Oh, look at that. We're all dark again. What's happening? Oh my god. No, it's just the plug-in. Watch this. Just like that. All because I dropped an Allen key on a power switch, and this reset everything. So, again, if you didn't see it before, welcome back to Courtesy Flush. Tonight we're going to be playing D&D, hopefully, if we get everything right. We are shorthanded, as we have only got Nick here with us tonight, and myself, and so we will do what we can for the next hour and a half.
I've got John.
Got John what?
I got John's character, I got Jameer's character, I got Kevin's character sheets on my screen, and I'm ready to kind of play them a little bit.
Okay.
What I'd like you guys to do is just kind of command them a little bit.
Okay, we'll command their characters, and
you generally just like give them a general kind of
right
way to go. So it's like go that way and attack, or retreat and use distance, or just some general kind of like what you would you command, like if you were their general or something, or if you were giving orders. That way that'll give me a general way to play them, and that'll give more agency to you, the players. Sounds good.
Let's pop over to the stream. Look at that, we're back on the map, and now we're going to be taking out some stuff on said map.
I believe we killed... I'm struggling to remember it a little bit, but I believe we had killed the spiders, had we not?
Yeah, so let me see if I can remember kind of how this worked out. You guys came from the south, is what you decided.
Yes.
From there, you started investigating houses. I think the first house you took a look at was, it was the blighted farmhouse.
Yeah, and it had spider webs and now dead spiders in them.
Well, there's that one.
I think we started in like number 5.
Yeah, and
that was empty. And then we found what's his face in number 4, who asked us to talk to a dragon.
Did you guys fight some twig blights?
No, we just killed a spider. The one that was up here at the top right.
No, you killed some twig blights.
Really?
Yeah, so at 5, there are twig blights in that house, and I remember you guys looked into it, and if there aren't any there, it's because you killed them.
We never fought them. I don't think they were ever there, because when we went in there, you're like, nope, it's just an empty house. There's nothing there. We did a search. I mean, I could pull up the other stream. Yeah. I remember nothing being there.
Well, maybe I fucked up then.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I fucked up.
I was gonna say, I think you forgot to put them in, most likely.
I thought I did a good job of putting stuff in, but, leaving the farmhouse while 2 more had, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe you disturbed them and I made them move somewhere.
It's possible.
Anyway, after that you went to 4 and you met with a druid who, you kind of went there to check on, the whole reason for.
Oh, right, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
You talked to what was it, Erin Alderleaf at Alderleaf Farm, the same woman whose young child you talked to and found the secret passage into the Red Brand Ruffians mansion.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor Farms. So you talked to him and he said, I'm a druid. I know what I'm doing. She doesn't have to worry about me, but I'll go into town and I'll say hi just to make her feel better about what's going on. He told you that the reason he's there is he's just observing kind of the course of things that are happening. He's a druid, so he's concerned with, am I plugged in? I'm not. That's why I can't hear shit.
Yeah, that cable right there, Nick. That's the one.
Thank you. Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear now. All right. You talk to him, and he told you he's just been observing the location. 30 years ago, this was a fairly prosperous site. I think I might have even mentioned it. It used to be a kind of like a hunting and lumber town, because it was very close to Neverwinter Forest.
Right.
And I think it might even be near a source of water, and so it was a good town. But Mount Hontnow, you might remember the ceiling, the very massive ceiling of Mass Mage's home. He used to live underground underneath Mount Hontnow. 30 years ago erupted, sending a lot of ash and darkness into the sky, which nature and magic are in this world intertwined, and a lot of ash rained down upon Thunder Tree Village, and basically blighted it. It killed a lot of people. Soon after the eruption, there was an attack of zombies that kind of overtook the town, and they even kind of hang out now, is what the druid told you. So there are twig blights, there are zombies, there are spiders, there are even some weird people in masks to the east, and a dragon, worst of all. So the basic, like, karma of this land has gone fairly south, which is why he feels it's his duty to observe. He basically told you, like, if you're going to do anything, be super careful, because this is a very dangerous place. He's put up signs. He tries to keep people away, for the most part, warning them that, generally, nature should take its course and a balance should be found. But with a little bit of persistence, I think you asked for, like, what could be done. And he said, if anything, it'd be nice to have that dragon go away, because its presence is kind of a magnet for dark energies. It's a young green dragon. And I don't know how much your characters know about dragons and their different colors. I imagine Olivius might know a thing or two, having been very well read, and Crow might know a thing or two just about the stories that he's heard as a child. But they're evil creatures generally. I think with the exception of, like, one color of dragon, they're all evil. Green dragons in particular are lawful evil, because they're very smart. They're very clever, logical, paranoid creatures.
Nick actually pulled up the information about said dragon on the cool little application right here. So, green dragon. Yeah, it was an adult green dragon.
Young green dragon.
Young. Can breathe air and water. Oh, okay. Oh, because they're amphibious. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that in bold right in front of my face. Multi-attack dragon makes 3 attacks.
So this is a lot of information that I don't know if you would have access to all of this, because this is the meta of it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I'm looking at it.
We're not supposed to?
You know basics. You don't know how the fucking thing works. You don't know how it's built.
Really?
Yeah. You know the legends of young green dragons. You don't know how they attack, how they operate, what they do.
You're thinking that would influence our...
You're not experts.
Well, okay, well, here's a scenario. What if we were experts prior to playing?
Convince me.
No, I mean, what if we were experts prior to playing? Say if we've all played this enough to where we know what you're doing.
Oh, well, that's the point of role-playing. You role-play your character the way that they would act in the situation with the knowledge that they would have.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually an interesting question, because like it's fun to do puzzles that way, because it's hard to separate, okay, well, let's say I'm playing, or Nick's playing like a stupid character, so he built a low intelligence creature for fun, and so he's playing the dumb character. And then there's a puzzle, and it has to deal with prime numbers. Nick gets it right away. He understands immediately that 4 is the odd number out of the listed numbers because it's not prime. But his character is drooling and scratching his ass. Does his character know the answer to that riddle, and is it okay for Nick to answer that as the player?
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Like,
yeah, it's like a stat.
Work?
Well, it's a stat weight with dice roll.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if he's that stupid, even with like a super high roll, he's probably just gonna have to come up with a really dumb answer, or he gets it right, but it's like he has to do it in a way where it's like
he has to make his character stumble upon it instead of actually, like, through dumb luck, the character figures out the riddle, but he knows. But that's part of role-playing the character.
And so you don't want to seeing the green dragon stats.
Yeah, because, well, now you know, oh, this is how it attacks, and it can blow this once, and it can do this, the other thing, and so...
So why would it give us all this information here anyway, if that's the case? As players?
It shouldn't be. Like, that's something that...
It shouldn't be? Are you sure?
Yes. Like, it's not something that you should be able, not without, like, something like that, like the way the character, the stats of the character and the way it's built, is the kind of thing I would give you if, like, you had done a scouting mission and had succeeded very well. And then at that point, I might just be like, okay, yeah, you get to know everything.
Well, then why is it here?
It's the way Roll20 is. It's like an encyclopedia. So
okay.
I guess, but it's not like things that you naturally have access to.
So basically, you're hoping people play by the honor system?
Well, that's the game in a nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you could just tell me you roll, like, 17,
gotcha.
18,
I see what
whatever.
you're saying now.
Or you could roll in the application, you let the computer do it, but that's the way, like, the game kind of depends on you playing it.
This thing here is dead, and
Yes.
so is this thing.
Yes. So, yeah, you talked to the druid. He said, you could probably kill those spiders. They've been giving me shit because they live next door, and they're very loud with their rock music and their
of course,
weed smoking.
Thank you, Nick.
And
because it's like when I see icons, I'm like, that must die.
Yeah.
So
it's
let's
already dead.
So now that we know what we're doing with the druid, where should we go now, Nick?
I believe was not the dragon. Oh, Biddy just wrote, "Hey fellas, how are you? So I'm not playing tonight."
Yep.
Yeah.
No worries.
He's got a thing he needs to do.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
We're doing great, John. It's good to hear from you, man. We got in a little bit late, mainly because of technical issues, and we were just trying to get
somebody
roll
failed
20.
Their luck roll.
We were trying to get roll 20 to work for us. Now we use everything on roll 20. I said 4 at the beginning, and I had to correct myself. We want to get all of our characters and stuff on here, and so that may be something we'll do with you later, where we can actually, you can build your character sheet. So like you can now see I have my character up here with all of his stats and stuff, and we can play through the actual site, which is something I want to do because, you know, we have a PDF that
It's nice to have things consolidated. It's also good that now you have a place where it's like a sheet that you can edit freely, which is good because I want everybody to kind of take charge of their character sheets and being able to see them and change them, because I'd been doing it prior.
Yeah, Michael's been handling all the stuff, so now we can actually take care of that, and he can let us know by looking at it like, hey, your character's not supposed to have that.
Yeah.
But we haven't. I've not given my character anything more than what was already on my character sheet, plus like some of the items I picked up.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we have clarified that we are now we cleared out the spiders for this druid. The other thing is we came to this area because now we are all curious as to what's happening in this town ourselves, right?
Right.
So it's not just so much we're doing the quest for this druid. We're trying to also figure out what the fuck's happening in this town and maybe, you know, get some stuff that we can use for later. Mainly experience points, because the mines of Phandelver, or Wave Echo Cave, is going to be, as Michael put it, a very difficult challenge for us currently. Even though he has clearly told me many times off stream that we are whooping ass on everything we have fought, I feel like personally we are just on the
we're skating on a thin edge of,
because how many you've got knocked into a chasm with a fire around you, and like
I've nearly died twice.
Yes. So it's
Mass nearly
has
died once.
and he has never forgiven anyone for that. That changed him completely. So he, to the credit of Jameer is also an actor. He loves the role play, so he fits really well into it. And I'm kind of the person who comes from the world of CRPGs, and Michael is trying his damnedest to like go, no, we can't. Doesn't work that way. Things don't just compute for you. You just and then I'm like, but my character.
You're killing the soul of D&D.
I'm just killing everything. Apparently, I'm killing the soul of D&D, but I've been doing this since I was a little kid. When I found the advanced D&D, it was the Pool of Radiance. I found an entire kit of that under my cousin's bed back in like early 90s, and I was always like messing with the characters and stuff and playing my own little game with it, but I never gave a shit about the rules. And so
Did you find the porn under there too?
No.
All right.
They weren't. Well, the thing is, this was two females who were really into Guns N' Roses and David Bowie, so
did you find the porn in there?
there was none. There was none.
Surprised, not like a Playboy.
Well, that was always in the house.
Not Playboy, a Playgirl.
No, that's
funny thing about.
They were a little more modest about it
There's
than the males in my family.
Apparently, in The Shining, Jack is casually reading a Playgirl before he goes into the bar, which is a hint of his bisexuality, and also like another marker that says, was he abusing Danny?
Yeah, that's the thing about movies, especially Kubrick. He was a very deep thinker, a little abusive to his a little bit abusive to his staff, but he made works of art, and he died.
Now,
so let's
all I remember is that he worked people, like he worked so it'd be like 200 takes on something.
He was very he was kind of OCD about the frame. He wanted everything to really kind of matter. And while there are people out there who admire that, I personally just go, dude, it's life. It's a little like you can live it without having it to be perfect, but that was him as an artist. I can't.
Oh, that was
did you update my computer?
Not intentionally, if I did.
Oh.
It was all of a sudden it just like turned off, and I was wondering if it was
the battery should be charged. All right, well, whatever. We'll continue from here.
All right.
While Nick gets everything popped back up. Anyway.
Do we want to get that plugged in?
We can, yes. So we are...
So I believe the dragon was to the north. Was it not?
The dragon is to the north.
Okay. So we could either head north to find the dragon, or...
I'll plug you for a second, Mike.
Okay.
It looks like there's a wall of something kind of down by where you are, Crow.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm thinking I might go check that out if you want to come with, or sure. I can scout it out.
Well, why don't we... You can start scouting it out, and the rest of us will meet down... like at that intersection, just like basically north of where you are currently, and we can kind of be there in case something goes horribly awry and or we want to go exploring.
Sounds good to me. So Michael, I am going to go ahead, and this is going to be a sneaking mission. Weapons are PO.
Weapons are SO, procure on site.
Yeah, POS.
Then they're also POSs.
Not really. I mean, well, not really.
Depending on where you find them.
Yeah, you can get the first pistol of Metal Gear Solid underneath the truck in the beginning. Nick found it. You just gotta be good with it. There's a whole meta to that. But anyway, so yes, I'm gonna go ahead and try. Let's see if there. Oh, it's an iCloud password.
I broke the computer.
Can't believe you.
Yeah, no, I was. Gotcha. So I have it cited into my iCloud. Anyway, Ugh, I feel dirty for saying that. iCloud. I have an iCloud.
iCloud.
Ugh. All right, so how do I activate my sneak mode? Or I can just say I do it.
You can just say that you're doing it.
Okay, so Michael, I'm going to go ahead and do one of these right here. Will this clear any fog of war for me?
Yeah. In fact, you're going to be able to see inside.
Oh, is this like an icon I can put over? Oh, so I peek around the corner, and I look inside, and I see two, looks like Paul Bunyan's just sitting there. Two Abraham Lincoln coins that were denied mint. That were, I don't know what those are. Those look very weird, like copper colored.
So what you see on the outside of the house, you see a large stout chimney, and a rotted pile of firewood jumbled on the side of the building. It's old and it hasn't been maintained, so it's all suggesting. But you have an idea that this might have been a smithy back in the day, about 30, maybe 30 years ago. And when you peer inside, you're peering through shuttered windows that have narrow slits in them. But with a light from the day, you can peer inside. And what you see are, it looks like, go ahead and roll a perception.
Okay, so can I type just, what do I hit? Oh, here we are, dice.
I like the fudge option. I'm just gonna say. And I believe you want a D20.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
So you take a look inside.
I'm just gonna roll with these dice.
That's fine.
Because I kind of like the dice tower. But go ahead. Sorry, there's something happening here.
You take a look inside and you see what looks like what's your plus to perception? You have a high.
I do have a pretty high perception. Actually, it's one of my higher traits.
Yeah.
My perception is +4.
+4.
So.
All right. So when you look inside, you see some bodies laying on the floor. They're humanoid in shape. They're very black. And so what you can assume, especially with the information that you got from the druid, these must be some of those zombies he was talking about. So they are dormant, lying on the ground inside of this building currently.
Okay, so you're gonna have to do. Hold on. Because it's trying to load all this stuff at once. Sorry, got a little technical thingy here. There it is. Got you back there, Nick. Should be able to figure it out. Okay, so
it looks like one of them has like a long, like kind of thick leather apron, and the other one doesn't seem to have any clothes on it.
They got Griswold, man. Poor Griswold. He just can't catch a fucking break. So I'm gonna go ahead and run back to my peeps over here, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Am I cool? Okay. Be like, hey. No, I'm not gonna say it like that. Well, there are two very charred and very probably undeath type gentlemen inside this next location, and most likely they will want to attack us in the fashion that most undeaths usually do. What would you like to do?
Well, the options, the two best options that I can think of is, one, we leave them alone and hope that nothing we do arouses them enough to cause them to come out and attack us.
Right.
Option number 2 is I could send Ignatius, my familiar, if you remember. Maybe he flits up to the window and, as birds do, scream at them. And perhaps draw them outside where we can, from our position here, send a few arrows and or firebolts and or other ranged death at them to dispatch them before they reach us, and then if they do manage to get close enough to, you know, with sword and whatever else we happen to have. I believe we have mostly swords. I can't remember what
Okay.
Arunian has, if he has a sword or if he has an axe.
He has a sword.
All right. If it's up to our judges.
Yeah.
Judges, are we cool with using said tactics? Are you cool with that?
That's all. up to
Okay.
you. Yeah.
He gave me the shrug of that sounds fine. So we're gonna go ahead and I agree with you. I don't wish to become another feast for these undead fools. So I'm going to stay back here with you, and I'm going to. I don't have the ability to do Overwatch, but I'm just gonna, you know, if they come within.
You actually.
I have sneak attack, so.
Well, you actually do kind of have an Overwatch ability. You have you can do what's called a hold, and so instead of taking your turn and doing your action, you can say I want to ready an action.
Okay.
And so you could say I want to, and here's the trade-off with readying an action is this: it's like setting a trap. If the trap springs, then you get to activate whatever you're going to do, and then you get your turn. If the conditions for you, for your ready action going off aren't met, then you basically just lose that action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take these things on up close, so I'm going to go ahead and ready an action for when, or if they come out the door. That I have a bow, right?
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
I want to use my short bow. It's +6 to attack.
The range of your bow is 60 feet.
And that is
And so each square is 10 feet. So you can go back pretty far.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and be back about here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
All right. And what I'd like you to do is I want you to mark an area on the map for where you will be aiming. Like
Okay.
where's your attention going to be?
Actually, I'm going to move my character. Oop. Can I Command Z that? No. Just gotta... Okay. Yeah, I gotta select my character. I'm gonna move him next to Mass here. And then I want to mark right about here for my Overwatch, this little star. So anything that is undead that enters this area will get an arrow.
Just any enemy, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And do we want to order Arunian and Sword Fighter to stand, you know, just in front of us?
Yeah, I think that
swords at the ready too.
Michael, I think that placement of Arunian and Sword Fighter are actually good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where we want
It's
them.
like having them there. Okay.
Yeah, just in case they come up and they can stop them. So that blue marker is where the bird is going to land, and the purple marker is where I'm going to be shooting. Actually, do you want to switch Sword Fighter and Arunian's positions?
Okay.
So, yeah. That way he's like right there, ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. Are you ready to execute?
Well, I'm also going to ready a...
Okay.
Let's just go Firebolt, I think.
Okay.
That's
Same
okay.
spot?
Same spot as...
All right.
Crow's arrow.
Okay. Mass will do the same. He'll ready a firebolt for that spot.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens? What does Ignatius do?
Just starts tweeting very loudly at them and just kind of being very loud and obnoxious, like next to the door.
At first, it seems like nothing happens. But as are you peering through Ignatius? Or are you gonna take a second to kind of?
Yeah, kind of
through.
keeping.
It looks like nothing's happening, but you see a slow kind of stir in the arm of the larger of the two zombies, the one wearing the large leather apron, and it slowly rises to its feet. It turns its body toward the sound, and just kind of starts to moan softly. That rouses the other one as well. And now they are inside of the building, and it walks towards the window and is just kind of moaning and looking at Ignatius as it tweets.
So Ignatius is going to kind of try to start screaming from the outside of the door in the hopes of drawing them through the doorway and out into the open.
All right. Roll a d20.
9.
9. The zombie having gotten close to the window.
Hello? Don't worry, it's just a ghost. Go ahead.
The zombie having gotten close to the window and the daylight, light suddenly hits its face, and you can see through Ignatius just kind of what this thing looks like. It's very black, almost gray, or very gray, almost black. It's kind of the best way to describe it. The features have kind of been muted. There's no hair because it's all been burned away, and its eyes are just kind of hollow, and it shies away from the window, having come in contact with the sunlight. It doesn't seem to be that big a fan of light. It's just not. It heard the noise. It's moving around, but that didn't seem to rouse it enough to. It's up, and it's just kind of meandering around, but it's staying inside.
Let me try shooting an arrow at the door.
Okay.
Try to knock on the door.
All right.
Rolling a d20.
Go ahead, roll a d20.
I got a 10. That's a +6 to hit. So
It's
16.
a door, so even if you didn't like it, you have advantage on stationary things, and their AC is like whatever. So yeah, you fire off at the door, and what'd you roll?
I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Yeah, it hits the door, and again, doesn't seem to rouse them very much.
All right, I fire another arrow at the door.
Okay.
I got a 9 that time.
Not really doing anything.
Gonna fire another arrow at the door. Got a 9 or 6 that time.
Got
Pro.
6.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion? The zombies seem to be very reluctant to come out. And why I'm still all for.
I know that's part of my
dispatching
character.
them.
I'm just like, damn it, come outside.
Maybe, I mean, there is a window slit. If we kind of gingerly and carefully and being ready to run away, approach said window slit and fire an arrow
I'm gonna say
through it at the zombies.
I'm gonna say Arunian is just like, ugh, this is bullshit, and having just exasperated loudly, the zombies perk up, and they both start banging at either door. And let me see here.
I just imagine that's what Crowwind would do in that situation, where you're like, well, why don't we try? Wait, what if we? It's not working. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
They start banging at the doors, but so attracted by Arunian's noise of actually hearing like not just a creature but a sentient one, they've been roused to basically try to attack it. The doors of the building are so
I believe
old.
Biddy enjoyed your comment about Arunian's character.
Yeah.
I try to play in character, but yeah, that's what Arunian probably
But
did.
anyways,
It's just
fine.
like, this is nuts.
John, for the night.
Oh, night, John. Good luck with your review.
Yeah, good luck, man.
So, they start banging on the doors, but the doors are so old and uncared for, they've actually swollen from the maltreatment and now are just kind of stuck. And the zombies are banging on them, but they aren't breaking through. So they're trying to get out, but you could wait a little bit, see if they can get through again, or if or try to taunt them again, or do something.
Well, taunting is the same as waiting. It doesn't seem like they're just gonna keep pounding on the door.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? You want to go ahead and just like wait, see what they do?
I'd say go up to one of the windows and just shoot through the window at them.
Okay.
I
ahead
can
and
do
do
that if you want me to, or if you want to.
Well, there's two different windows.
Okay.
There's one on the left side, one on the right side.
Okay.
So I'll go on the right side.
So you have speeds of 30, right?
Yeah, so that would mean I'd only go 3 spaces. Well, we're not in a combat situation yet.
Well,
But the zombies are still
I'm gonna kind of dictate
knocking
it.
at their
Okay.
door.
Yeah, because it's going to take you, however long it takes them to like retry getting through the door is how long it takes you to go 30 feet. So you guys go 30 feet and then, okay. Arunian and Sword are going to position themselves kind of outside the doors, just getting ready.
Awesome.
And then first, they're banging, and they're banging a little bit harder now, but they still haven't broken through the doors.
Okay. Then I am going to.
You were going right?
Yeah, I'm going to the right side.
Okay.
Let's see, that's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm at the slit, and I want to fire at the one. Actually, I'm going to sneak attack the one that's diagonal
Okay.
with my arrow.
I'm going to say. So you're going to have a little bit of. You're going to have disadvantage. One, because you're using a short-range weapon at close range, and 2, because it has 3/4 cover from the arrow slit.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's
But then I'll
that,
just, you know what? I'll just
give
stay
it a
right
shot.
here.
Yeah.
No. What I'll do is, so that's just like a ton of unnecessary disadvantage. I'm just gonna go ahead and just.
I mean, you could try. I'm just saying that it's not going to hurt
Or
anything.
just
My
shoot
dice rolls suck.
You just
Just
give
shoot
it a
the
shot.
one
Just see if you can hit it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot, huh?
shoot the one on the other side.
It's still got like 3/4 cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna say it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do sneak attack.
Okay.
Um,
So roll a d20 twice, and we'll see what happens.
at 12 and an 8.
8. Okay. So 8 plus your 2 hit with the bow.
It's +6.
Plus 6. Yeah. You nailed that. Which zombie were you aiming for?
The one closest to the door, doing a
Close to the
sneak
door.
attack.
And you're doing a sneak attack, so that's an extra whatever of damage. So roll damage. You hit him. You hit
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, let me see what the damage is on it because I forgot. Short bow, so it's 1d6 plus 4 piercing.
Okay. 1d6 plus 4 piercing plus another d6 for the sneak attack, I think.
Yeah. It does. I don't see the sneak attack thing, but yeah,
It should be at the bottom.
It's not.
Oh, you haven't added it, maybe.
Is it? Hold on.
It's one of your... You know, it would be in notes.
Oh, here it is. Increases as you gain level. If you have advantage, the amount of extra damage increases as you gain level, but it doesn't say what the dice to roll for that is.
Let me... Character sheet. Grow and...
Oh, extra 1d6. I see
Yeah,
it.
okay, it's 1d6. Yeah.
Okay, so roll.
So roll 2d6 plus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I got a 6. Got a 2 plus 4.
So 12 damage. So you shoot through the windowsill. it hits it right in its forehead, kind of at an angle. It knocks its head back, and so it kind of stumbles backwards a little bit, and it just rights itself, and it really doesn't kind of understand what just happened. It's a zombie, so it took some damage, but it's not down yet.
Right.
And it's their turn to try and take another round at these doors. All right, so on the other side of the building, the door finally bursts open, and this zombie stumbles around the corner, and it takes a look at Arunian, and it's going to hold on here. I should have. Yeah, 5 feet.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, in fact, roll a d20, Crow. Actually, yeah, roll a d20. No, you know what? No, you don't roll a d20. What you do see is that when you hit that zombie, it kind of the shock of the hit, what seemed like black dust shocked off of the zombie, and fell to the ground and just kind of filled the up to 3 feet of the room in this dark black smoke, ashy whatever. You smell death and decay and ash, and that's what you see, but you're not restricted. On the other side of the house, Arunian is faced with the ash zombie, and it takes a
Is he going to be using the Phantom Fist? His favorite weapon.
I think it's funny that you gave it sentience.
Because I am the Phantom Fist!
Because there are weapons like that, but the Phantom Fist is...
I have sentience.
It's just imbued with magic. It's not like it has a soul in it. Or...
Even God doesn't want to recognize my sentience. For I am that powerful. I am the Phantom Fist!
15. I think that hits.
Bury me within your enemies.
Arunian has it. Gotta fix Arunian. Well, he's a ranger.
Put your hand in sight of me, Arunian.
Supposed to be distance.
Fill your fingers in my holes.
So Arunian just gets kind of slapped in the face by this zombie, and he takes... How much damage does he take? 1d6 plus 1. He takes 3 points of damage. Yeah. So Arunian takes 3 points of damage. He is... There we go. And he is going to respond in kind by trying to fuck this thing up. So he takes a swing at it with his short sword. And he clocks that thing. It's a 1d6 plus 3 piercing for 9 damage. So he kind of recoils a little bit from the slap and is just taken aback a little bit, and then just draws his short sword and swings at this thing, and actually cuts off the arm that smacked him in the face. And
nice shit. All right, I'm glad with that.
Then similar to how the ash fell from the first zombie's body when you hit it with an arrow crow, when Arunian attacks this zombie's arm, ash sloughs off of its body, but the arm hits the ground and bursts in a cloud of black smoke as well. But Arunian, being a dwarf, is hearty and holds his breath and backs up a little bit away from the smoke. or the ash. That,
So wait, I may not have been fully of attention on what did that affect me at all?
It didn't. You were far enough away that you saw what happened, but you...
Okay, so now I'm
weren't-
aware of...
And you
Yeah.
also, like, shot through it. You weren't cutting something off. so-
Right on. Okay. I was like, wait, I didn't, because I heard you tell me that before, but I
Yeah.
was like, did that affect me? Okay, good.
No, yeah.
Good to
you
know.
were close enough to kind of like smell it, but you weren't close enough to be engulfed by it and be debilitated by it. And then Irunian was quick enough that he could hold his breath against it and not be as engulfed in black ash and just get like a lungful and just be debilitated as well.
Okay.
So they back up. Let's see here. The other zombie is still knocking at that door. Can't seem to get through.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to... Maybe we have Sword Fighter pull the door open, and then you can kind of blast with your firebolt.
I mean, we could, or we could deal with the one that's, out in the open.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. So that's... whose turn is it? It's
kind of just like your guys' turn. Whoever you want to go.
Okay.
I'm not going to have
we can-
everybody roll initiative for this.
We can have Sword Fighter open up the door if we want to.
Yeah, I was going to say, because then what we could do is... I could position myself for another sneak attack
Mm-hmm.
and hit this guy again. And then you can go and help Arunian.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to try and have Sword Fighter open the door?
No. I'm just going to shoot at him again from the
Okay.
window.
All right. Give it a shot. Still at disadvantage.
So roll 2d20.
Do 2d20, take the lesser.
7.
7. You still hit it.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Okay. So
sneak
2d6.
attack. 2d6.
6.
6.
4.
Yeah. Again, you shoot this arrow, and you hit it in its head again. And strangely enough, the first time you hit it with an arrow, its skull seemed fairly solid. This arrow hits and then is stopped a little, but then kind of passes through. And then the body of the zombie just kind of dissolves into nothingness as a pile of ash appears on the floor.
Oh.
And you have killed that zombie.
Cool. So we can... Or is there like a way you can mark... Oh yeah, I was going to say can we put the red mark of death. Okay, so that was my turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick had moved over.
Okay. I probably can't see the...
You could probably be on the same space with Arunian.
Okay.
There's enough room for you to both be in the same place.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna just, fire a firebolt at this thing.
Okay.
Fireball. Like this thing hasn't dealt with enough fire as it is. No, I'm just
break out
joking.
magic missile, and that just seems a little overkill.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Got a
Rolled a 6.
6? Okay.
6. And what's your plus? It's more than 1, right?
It should be.
Yeah, roll damage.
Oh wait, would that be my? I know there's something like that. Spell attack bonus is
Yeah.
+4. Yeah.
Yeah, you hit him.
Okay. What is Firebolt's damage? Firebolt's is a 1d10.
A 1d10.
5.
5. Do you... Yeah, okay. So you do 5 damage. So yeah, a mote of fire appears in your hand, and you throw it towards the zombie. And you more kind of just lob it because you're close enough. It hits him square in the chest, and or it rather, and engulfs the top part of him. Again, it's kind of taken a little bit aback by the hit, but it doesn't feel pain. It's not hyper aware of what's happening. It just knows that there was a force, and then it just goes back to upright, and now the top part of it is still kind of smoldering and on fire, and it's still walking towards you and Arunian.
So that's the end of your turn. Let's get Sword Fighter up close to that zombie, Michael.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. All right, so Sword Fighter approaches, and he's going to attack.
Wonderful.
And he just kind of great swords it. He approached it from behind, while its attention was kind of drawn on coming towards you. So he just kind of runs out from behind the house, does a vertical slash with his greatsword, and cuts that thing from head to toe. And again, it looked like there was a little bit of resistance at first when he first struck it, but kind of midway through the head of the strike, it just kind of dissolves into ash again. And becomes a pile on the ground. And that was that.
And Sword Fighter just goes, looks like he... Sword Fighter! He even, like, does it a little musically just to, like, mess with us. Sword Fighter! Just, like, drops the sword down.
He's got, like,
Sword
a kazoo.
Fighter! Sword Fighter! Sword Fighter! All right.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
you just take a look at him, and he's just like,
Yeah. Very like Power Rangers anime thing. Fuck yeah. All right, Sword Fighter.
He puts his sword back on his back somehow.
Well, like he takes his belt and he just pulls it up over. Because you can, I mean, you can. If it's loose enough, you can do that.
Or if it's one of those sheaves that are open on the scythe, so like you can kind of...
I don't accept that. I hate that. It looks so fucking gross. You know what? Yes, that's exactly what he has. I hate those, but yes, that's what he has. Okay, so now that these zombies are dead, I wish to do an inspection or investigate this house.
Yeah, sure.
So I go inside. Well, can I just open the door?
Yeah, the door's open, so you can just kind of... The door on the other side's open if you want to open that other door.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like...
So you can go around the house and go in
Okay.
the open door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to go ahead and do a quick little search here.
All right.
Got a 13 plus whatever my perception is, ridiculously high.
So you take a look around. There's some rusted ingot. Well, actually, any metal in here is rusted, kind of wet and brown, like a little bit of a sheen over it. The spots where the zombies have been laying are... It was kind of wet to begin with.
So there's like a little spot on the floor where
there's
it's
some
like...
little outlines where they had been laying.
Makes sense.
That was a little bit more dry. It's a smithy shop, so there's like a worn out... like there used to be what it looked like a wooden bellows, but it's been worm-eaten, and the leather is just
like old tools
deteriorated.
hanging around and stuff, like tongs.
If they're even hanging anymore,
yeah,
you might find a couple of things, but of just like just rusted blacksmithing weapons. You when talking with Sword Fighter, if somebody had a mind to, they could maybe take a month or two and get this place up to working stuff, and maybe restore a couple of the tools, because the general outline is still there, but this has been in a fairly disrepaired state. You'd probably want to build another cottage and just take whatever usable tools you might be able to get from here to there.
Okay. I was just looking to see if there was anything in here that was of value. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's...
'Cause I wasn't expecting it to be of any use. Just trying to look for items. Although I'm like curious, as like we're like standing right next to this edge of this black line, we just don't... Apparently we just didn't look. We're not gonna look over there. That's just an area.
My action was gonna be, I was gonna go over to whatever I'm standing next to and kind of try to find a window to peer into.
So you see...
Yeah. See that? Can we? Yeah, we see the wall, so we know there's a house or something there. And then whatever's up here. Jesus, all right, game. We'll turn you down a little bit. There we go.
So like the area over here, let me see if I can, how do I do the ping?
Hold the mouse button down.
Yep. There we go. So this area over here, you can actually see it. It's just a lot of brush. It's like overgrown.
Okay.
It's thick. It's high. The trees in the area are about 30 to 40 feet tall. They're well, I suppose they might have been planted early on in the making of the town as decoration, and over this time, they're pretty much the only thing that have, I guess you could say, prospered through the ash mixed into the soil. It was decent fertilizer for a lot of things, but it hasn't been maintained, so it's very wild, and so there's a lot of plant life choking itself. The brush being namely the thing. You have the paths, but they're difficult. They're not difficult terrain, but they're thin. They're not well maintained. They're
okay.
Yeah. So, but you generally, if you can't see past the fog of war, it's just that there's like a brush there that's just high and scraggly, and
okay.
you just haven't.
Well then, let me go up to this door, sneaking.
Sneaking. Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20.
What's that say? It's a 9. It's a 9 plus 8 sneaking.
I imagine that's
So 17 or 18 or 16. Sorry, because I can't do that. I have 8.
Okay, that would be 17.
Yeah, 17. It's my thing, you know, it's my skill. Like, you guys have your fucking ridiculous magic. My thing is sneaking. So it's like, this is the one thing I'm actually good at doing.
Yeah, so, you take a look inside there, and, you see 2 men, in some weird-looking masks. These must have been the people that, the druid had been talking about that came recently. Go ahead and roll perception.
I got a 12 plus 4.
4. Okay. Currently, and well, actually, I should probably have a description of
whatever these guys are. They look like they were in the recent Thor Ragnarok movie at some point.
So, I suppose I should have, whatever, do a good enough job. So you take a look, and it's you see past that house is a larger kind of farmhouse. And this is more of a kind of a barn. Okay. And like everything else, it's just kind of dilapidated and rotted away. This barn is in such disrepair that you can find some cracks in the wall, even though the doors and the shutters to it have been kind of closed. It's still kind of open, maybe even to the elements. The other house, however, is kind of thick shut, just like the smithy was. So you look inside and you see these 2 men. Well, what you think are men. They might be women, because they're masked. They have long hair.
And they have cloaks on or something. I'm guessing.
They have a lot of dark cloaks on.
They have like layers. They're like layered up. It's very cold outside. They were like, you know, it's fall season. You got to put layers on. And, you know, their grandmas were very, like, very careful about them catching colds. So they're like,
Malachi was writing, I believe from when we were investigating the blacksmith shop, but it's a Sheen, Charlie Sheen.
A Charlie Sheen.
So when you look inside, you see these two are, they seem to be just kind of positioned comfortably. They're not conversing. They're each at kind of like openings in the wall, just kind of peering out, generally keeping watch. Probably not very well, because you got snuck up on them and you can see that they're keeping watch.
That is the one skill I have. I am a walking invisibility potion.
And we were like
if where I lack
a little bit of noise when we were dealing with the
where I lack in able to, if I hit something in combat, it does damage, but my fucking dice rolls are just not the greatest. So my abilities are all about the sneaking.
You see that they seem a little on edge. In fact, they don't have their weapons drawn, but they do have each have a hand around their dagger in its sheath.
So I want to whisper into my Rocky Talkie over here to you. Listen here, Olivius. There are two guys on the inside of this house, and they look like they're watching for something dangerous. I want to try a bluff on them, and I need you to play along. You'll know your cue when you're ready. How does that sound?
I don't know my cue, but what am I doing?
Look like a mage when I tell you to.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So I walk up to the door and I loudly knock on it. Hello? Is there anyone in there? Hello? We're not here to sell housing insurance. Clearly you don't need it. We got rid of the spiders.
Hold on.
I'm not sure. I think we may have confused the DM.
I'm just reading. I'm just making sure how these guys act.
Okay. Yeah, he's trying to get a. Yeah, he was looking for. What do How do I act like these characters and respond to this insanity?
Okay. So you kind of hear, if you're listening, the men inside, or the people inside, flinch and draw their weapons, but do not move.
Okay.
And you said hello. What did you?
No, I was just, and I was gonna say, I noticed that you are well armed, and I just wanted to remind you that we too are also very well armed. As a matter of fact, our mage has a fireball pointed right at that little crappy shack you're sitting in right now. So if you would kindly put your weapons away and we can converse like civilized people, maybe we can all just stop being on edge. Rolling d20.
So I'm going to step around the corner.
17.
What are you rolling for?
This is for persuasion.
Persuading them to come out and not do anything?
Yeah, to drop their weapon, or to sheath their weapons and come out and converse with us.
Let's see here. They are particularly cowed. You don't hear them respond. In fact, you hear them get up quickly and run away, basically. Why don't... well, we won't have anybody roll initiative just yet. That's 10, 20...
Yeah, 40. I have no intention to attack them unless they give us reason to attack them.
20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, they run away. They run away from you. Yeah.
Okay. Olivius, I think they're running away to go get more reinforcements.
Okay.
Chances are they most likely are defending themselves within this place. They looked quite on edge for some reason. I would be too, considering that there are spiders and undead lurking about. But they look like they were watching for something else, and I don't know, just a gut feeling. My suggestion...
As you're talking to Olivius, you hear Like, think of what would be a good voice for one of these bastards? Have any requests?
You could always just do like whatever, like not like gruff, but just like not like look for an accent per se, just sort of like look for some like mood.
All right. From a distance away, you see you actually see a shutter open on one of the windows, and let me see here, just half open, right around there, and you can partially see you can see this person. They're kind of just like a little bit in the window, but mostly behind the wall.
Yeah, taking cover.
And taking cover, and they say to you, "Hail and well met, travelers. What business have you in this ruined town?"
We are currently just sort of cleaning things up, if that's all right. We were just making sure that you had no ill intent of your own. We have run into nothing but trouble since we've been here, and we're just trying to basically figure out what the hell happened.
Fair enough, traveler. We are but a humble band of loyalists, and we seek not fighting nor violence. We wish to be left alone. Hopefully, you respect our squatters' rights, I suppose you might say. We have taken this farmhouse as our own.
Well, we would mean you no harm, but we would ask that could you answer a few questions for us, and we will leave you alone.
Roll a d20.
15 plus.
This is a 15. He's like, that is fine.
Okay.
What might you wish to know?
Could you give us a little bit of help on reminding us what we're doing with the druid again? Because I kind of forgot.
He told you that there's zombies, there's twig blights, and then there's the dragon in the tower to the north. Told you to be very careful, because even a young dragon is extremely powerful. But ideally, if you were able to, if you could chase it off or persuade it to leave somehow, he'd be very grateful. Because it's a magnet for dark energies, and
Gotcha.
This is the last thing this place needs.
Well, we wanted to ask you if you have seen a dragon.
Seek you to the green one.
I'm assuming by your tone of voice that you seek this out in reverence.
We do. We've come here to pledge our allegiance to the new ward of this land.
Do you... and here's another question for your group. Do you have a place of residence or fortress or some sort of monastery-ish thing outside of this?
We were, because I have to make this up, I have to think.
Yeah, no, you're fine, fine. Go ahead.
We were not but scholars before, spread out. We've only come and unified at this place for knowing that this is where the dragon has made his home, and so we have come to him.
Have you spoken to said dragon yet?
We have not. We have not steeled ourselves. As we know, this green dragons are particularly cautious, and we have done not anything to have esteemed him. And so we have just come to be in its presence and to hopefully at some point make our presence known and serve him as we would.
I see. The reason I'm asking is because while we will respect your right to do whatever it is you wish to do with said dragon, we wish that it would leave and go to another place where it would not draw dark energies toward more innocent folk. And I'm sure you can appreciate that, and you can also revere said dragon in a more secluded and more personal setting instead of in a dilapidated farmhouse in a burned out village. And we were...
Well, two things.
Go for it. Go for it.
You'd have a god move from its chosen place, and second of all, there isn't much innocent to be exposed here. If you've noticed, this is a perhaps even isolated from the rest of the world. People avoid this place. As places go, this may be one of the safest for this dragon.
And while I do agree with you, it will not be long before there will be more up here, for we are on a quest currently that will most likely revitalize this land, and I do not wish for the people to end up running across your dragon, and while your dragon may completely destroy them, I don't wish that anyone be destroyed at all. I wish everyone peace.
Could you not take the news?
The what?
The news that this is the new land of the dragon. You've come here on a quest to purify the land, but there's no balance. If everything is light, there must be darkness. There must be dark places. There must be places such as this to balance out the others. This is a natural way of things. What is your quest? What is your specific quest here?
We wish to find Wave Echo Cave and return the mines of Fandelver, and that is our quest.
And he's just kind of taken aback a little bit, and he sees, well,
you know that
this place has very little to do with you. Then you should just leave here. Leave it as it is. Warn others that it is a dangerous place and that they should not return.
Well, I agree with you. It is a dangerous place. It will not stop those, especially military men, from doing what the military men tend to do, which is puff their chests out and do whatever it is they do when they attack great creatures of power. And I don't wish anyone from their ranks to die, and I don't wish your organization to be exposed to these men. So I offer you this.
Roll a bluff.
Yeah.
Or a well, what is it?
So I got an 8.
8. How does that work with you? I think is bluff the same as persuasion? I think it's
I think it's under the same. It's on it's the same. I mean,
deception. It's deception.
I got a +4.
You have a +4 deception, so it's an 8 + 4.
Yeah.
All right. Or maybe, I suppose, that's more. It's more of a persuasion. What's your persuasion?
Oh, it's probably +4 as well. I didn't look. Just looking here.
It's based on charisma.
Yeah, persuasion. Yeah, it's 4.
4. Okay. So hold on here. He looks worried, and he believes you when you say that greater authority may be brought to this place, but he then steels himself and says, when and if they come, we'll tell them the same as we told you, and we will stand with our God, and if he deems it so, we shall defend ourselves, but this is our home now.
Well, to be fair, you've never met your God, and we are going to go do so, and we would like to also put in a good word for you. And so, while you might think that this would be the best place to die upon, I don't think it personally to be so.
You seek to meet with the young green?
Well, I mean, that is exactly why we're here. We were hoping to persuade it into leaving. And if we cannot, then most likely we will die, or everything around us will die with us. We're quite a fearless band of adventurers over here with nothing to lose.
He calls out. He actually he peeks out a little bit more from the window and he says, "Hold one while I discuss with my brethren." And then he disappears from the window.
Olivius, what do you think? So, yeah, okay. Give me the thumbs up. And he looks back over at Runian, and Massey's just like, this is a bad idea.
Speaking of which, since why don't we gather our band, like the rest of our band, over by?
I was gonna say, I kind of like that they're a little bit spread out.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Only because they can't see sword fighters, so they don't know he's there. They can probably see Runian if they came outside.
They can pretty much just see you.
Okay.
That's just like you.
And you're behind a wall, so you're in a perfect position to attack. I kind of like the tactical formation we've got so far.
He says he appears back again at the window, and he calls to you, and he says, if it is truly your will that you will go to the Green One and attempt anything, we wish to join you and to, at the very least, serve as arbiters, so that we might address the Green One ourselves, join you, and resolve this as painlessly as possible.
All right, let me consult with my military captains. One moment. And I walk over to...
So are you posing as like the King's Guard, or...
I just made that up right now.
Well,
I'm just saying
you're
that.
Military general.
Whether he believes me or not, I don't
right.
really give a shit. I'm
Okay.
just sort of saying that.
You're just saying it.
That's
Okay.
my character.
Gotcha.
Let me talk to my military captains and see. And I walk over. Wow, this guy seems like he might be a little bit.
A few bricks short of a load.
I was going to say drinking fermented grape juice a little too much. So perhaps we might speak to this dragon first before them. It's not that I don't think that they can worship whatever they want to. That's fine. It's more so I'm worried that they might do something stupid. I mean, you already know I'm going to do something stupid. Why do you want to take the chance of two groups doing something equally stupid?
I'm trying not to watch the screen.
As you were discussing, and they're still out of earshot, but they have come out of the building and have congregated to they've decided that they were going to come out and just kind of gather themselves, ready to join you to speak to the dragon.
An idea.
Okay.
It's a dumb idea, but it's a good idea. What if we got the druid to be the arbiter for the dragon and these men? Because the last thing I want is these guys to be somehow affiliated with him, and this would give him an opportunity to study a dragon, which would be for his fucking, that would make his fucking life. I mean,
it's not actually the worst idea you've ever had.
Yes. I think that would be wonderful. And if the dragon chooses this druid as its voice, they would have to listen to him. That would keep them in line. That would allow the dragon, maybe it might stay here, and that's fine. And they're able to he's able to at least control and contain things more. Do you want to speak with the druid and see if we can...
I will go, since I think I'm probably the quickest, I will go back and speak to the druid.
He's going to run back to our military real quick and speak to our amazing. I'm kidding. It's a man who can help us greatly with this.
What was the
Just
druid's
wait
name?
one moment. Preferably farther away from me.
What was the druid's name? I forget.
Druid's name was I have to
Guy
scroll
Fieri.
through the PDF.
It's Guy Fieri.
Druid's Watch. Reedoth. His name is Reedoth.
So I knock gently at the door. Read off, sir. It is I, Olivius. We met a little bit earlier.
Of course. What have you? Oh God, your torch! It's going out. We'll die here. Oh no.
I'm glad you knew exactly what song that was. Yes, that's the torch.
No. He looks on at you and he says, are you safe? How have you been?
We've been fairly successful. We have dealt with a couple of the spiders nearby, a couple of the undead.
They were giving me some trouble. Yes, they were, with their loud music and their nonsense.
Ran into an interesting situation. We met some of the people in the mask that you referenced.
Oh yes, those funny men.
It seems that they have a cult of sorts.
I was worried about this.
That worship, or at least is focused on, the young green dragon. And one, we thought this might be good information for you to know. Two, Crow Wind may have implied that we were going to go speak with the dragon, which caused this group to also want to come with us to speak to the dragon. In theory, I believe in their mind, was to act as an arbiter between us and the dragon, which we have concerns about. We were wondering, it was Crow's idea, that maybe you could come along to yourself be the arbiter between the meeting of our three entities, the dragon, us adventurers, and this masked group.
He smiles just a little bit, but he doesn't move from his seat. And then he looks kind of sad. He says, "That I do wish in all of my heart that was something that would be possible. But what you don't understand is that the green dragon's heart is pure evil. This is something, it's a creature, it can be talked to. You can try to reason with it, but it is always going to be against you. Like a con man, or a paranoid, or it is coupled with the fact that it's so young and immature. This dragon is a cruel being. If I were a younger man and I had you and your fellows to back me up, I may be so bold as to attempt something like this, but I've seen too much folly to see this ending well.
I understand, sir.
I counsel you, beware of the dragon. You may leave this place. That is entirely a possibility. You do not have to. You don't have to make this your responsibility. Similar with the men in the masks. Beware them as well. While they might not be outwardly violent, they seek to worship an evil god. these men, similar to the dragon, cannot be trusted.
I will relay your wise counsel to my group, and we shall consider it deeply. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Take care. Keep yourself safe.
All right.
So I go back to the group.
And so you take dried corn and you put it into a pan. And get this, eventually it will make a pop. And then another. And then another. And you will have corn that has been popped. I'm sorry, Olivius. I was telling them about my recipes.
So the one that you had been talking to, the leader, the de facto leader that had been speaking as the group, had just been paying slight attention, not seemingly like really interested, and just kind of like listening to it or whatever. But you can see that the two behind, even behind the mask, they are just nodding along a little bit. They seem very interested in this recipe. And they're like, one's just like, I think I'm gonna try that. Like to the other, and it's like,
just need to make sure you have a little bit of butter in the pan. Oh, Olivius.
I was wondering if we might call a quick huddle. Perhaps maybe you and I.
Okay. Well, one moment. We must go speak together.
Okay. So I spoke to the druid.
Wonderful. He's going to speak for us. This is fantastic news.
He's not going with us.
What? Wait a minute. Why not? It's a great plan. It's my plan. I came up with it.
Words like him being old, us being young and foolish, possibly reckless were thrown in there as well.
Fair enough.
He had two suggestions.
Okay.
A couple important bits of counsel he provided. One was that this young green dragon, it's a in his words, he called it a creature of evil. Not unintelligent, but paranoid. Cunning, but also like a con man.
Oh, like yeah, dubious.
Yes. And not to trust it.
Okay.
And basically more or less the same about the group of people in the masks.
Well, I already knew that about them. That wasn't even a question. I wasn't even going to bother with them.
That, it's not too... I don't know... I think this could be an interesting conversation, if nothing else.
And Mass Mage is just like, I'll just cast Fireball at all of them right now. Like, that's what he would say, and we're just like, well, just wait a minute.
Yeah, just hold on.
I do wish Mass was here to interact with these nut jobs.
It's like, hold on, the dragon may do that for you. But the druid said that it's not too late for us to just leave. But like I said, I think this could be an interesting conversation. Particularly, I was wondering, at this point we have this interesting fact of this group wants to come along with us, but if we could play it with the dragon, again, this paranoid idea kind of kicked off in my head. What if we spin it as if this group, to the dragon, we said to the dragon, that this group is kind of moving into this area and is really interested in the dragon and what he does and everything he does and how he goes about his day.
I see where you're going.
In order to maybe encourage him to find some place away from these folks.
I see.
But again, that particular idea works much better if it wasn't for the fact that the group was going to be with us.
I see.
Or at least is trying to be with us. Now, corollary to this, it's in the tower. We could go up as the both groups of us to the tower and send one of us. I could go under the assumption of I'm less likely to say something to get my face burned off. Or
fair enough.
You could also approach being a much
I don't mind.
thinker.
I don't mind either. Actually, I'm going to leave this up to Michael, not as DM Michael, but just Michael himself. Who would you rather see speak to this dragon? Me or Nick?
He laughs concernedly.
I think I'd rather Nick speak to the dragon.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, just because we don't have the other groups here, it's fine. Like, yeah. All right. Well, then, it seems like you have this plan in motion. I will do what I do best. Hang back and disappear.
So what are you trying to do?
So we're going to go up to the tower.
Okay.
We're going to have this. Are you taking the group with us? Because it sounds like we have no choice.
Like I'm thinking, like my plan, my proto plan here is, we take the group. Okay, we're gonna get to the edge of wherever this tower is, and at that point, we are going to talk the group. We're going to pitch them this idea that one of us, aka me, apparently at this point, is going to go into this tower by himself.
Okay.
For the purpose of kind of giving a brief introduction to the dragon, and also, if the dragon is not in the mood to receive guests, only one of us dies.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your sacrifice. Don't worry. I plan on... you know what I'm going to do is I am going to keep the group kind of down here while he goes up to the tower. Just to do that.
You're going to try and keep the cultists?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be like, he is going to go get our intermediary, and while we're doing that, let me tell you about another fine recipe as I roll my 20. D10. Or not D10, sorry, you got a 10.
10. What's your persuasion?
4.
4.
So 14.
Oh, that's right. I'm looking at the cultist stats.
While he's looking that up, Mike, I don't believe this laptop is charging.
Is it plugged in?
This is plugged in.
Oh, that's the green dragon. That one.
Mike, is your laptop charging? You're plugged into this.
Plugged in charging, yes. Is the light on the thing?
Yeah. Well, not this.
Yeah, that light should be on.
Yeah. Not seeing anything. Not plugged in over here.
Is the thing the right way around?
No, that's
Alright.
what it was.
Yep.
Alright, we should be in charge now, Nick.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The leader is looking a little perturbed, a little bit worried, but with the others behind them, just kind of encouraging him, and just kind of going along with what's answer. It's like, this is a good idea. It's like it's a druid. It's like the more kind of pomp and circumstance, like they're just kind of like pomp and circumstance, and it's just like, what, one guy, and it's like that.
Okay, so they're talking.
So they're just like, yeah, they're kind of they're gonna stick around.
Well, I can't see where I'm going.
Yeah, the tower I think is up in. Well, we can't. Can we see? Where's the tower?
So where do you want to go?
Where the tower is?
Tower is to the north.
Yeah, so let's head to the north to the tower.
I suppose what I could tell you is that you would see that.
We should be able to see an outline of a tower.
I kind of see two kind of northish.
In the distant, well, you would see. You know that the tower is on a hill, and you can see the elevation, and so you would know that if you went up this path, that would probably be the quickest way to lead you towards the tower. All right. So Arunian, or Olivius, you turn the corner, and this opens up some view of things. You see some brushwork, or some brushes. You see the tower.
Oh, there it is.
And
something in front of the tower, which has me concerned.
And you see
what is it?
How much sight am I going to give you? You see a structure. It's wooden, and roll perception.
Kind of looks like a catapult or something. Based on the icon.
I got an 8 plus 4 is 12.
8 plus 4. It's humanoid. It seems kind of low to the ground. It seems kind of half finished. You don't know what to make of it. It's just kind of there. It looks like some sort of structure, maybe some sort of not for any. It doesn't seem like any particular purpose. Actually, go. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go send Ignatius to kind of get a closer look at it.
Ignatius flies towards it and lands on top of it, and it just kind of sits there.
Do you want to do like a magic check, maybe?
I don't know if I can.
You have like a.
You can do like an Arcana.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. Do you have? What is it? It's like sense magic or something. It's an actual spell.
I know it's an actual spell, and I think I got rid of it because it was one of the ones you gave me when I leveled up at one point, and I said I didn't like it for how we were playing.
You could roll like an Arcana check.
Okay. We'll go with 12.
12.
Should I have a plus? Oh, I have a plus 2 to Arcana.
Plus 2 to Arcana. You don't get a strong kind of like feeling towards this. What you do feel is that it makes you uneasy. You don't feel comfortable looking at this thing or being in its presence. In fact, just that Ignatius being on it kind of makes you anxious. Like if you saw your child playing near train tracks or something.
Gotcha.
It just makes you nervous. But
right.
you can't really divine like if there's anything particularly magical about it, or what it's like if it is magical or if it has what magic it might be, or if there's anything particularly about it. If you do know that if you got closer, you might be able to investigate it a bit more and get a better idea about it, but that would require you getting closer to it.
You can always walk around it.
That's what I was thinking, is just cutting kind of across the brush here. Instead of going up next to it. I think I'm probably going to do that.
Okay.
We're going to cut this way, just kind of like avoiding it a little bit.
Roll. You are rolling perception.
Keep missing the dice tower.
What are you using? 17. I think I should have a plus 4 to perception, so 21.
Ooh. All right. So, right before you cross this threshold, you catch a glint, you stop and you start looking around, and you weren't sure kind of like what you were seeing before, so you just kind of move around but not really going any further, and you catch the glint again, and so you start just kind of looking around, and you see a very, very, very fine silver wire close to the ground. And as you look closer, you can see that silver wire is spun around the trees and the structure, and it seems to go on towards the tower. And you get the feeling that if you were to, roll an Arcana check.
4.
4. You don't know what this is, but you notice that there's this wire. It's very, very thin. It looks like it's barely there. And you get the feeling that if you were to touch it, it might even break. But you don't know its purpose, and you don't know, like, but you can see that it's wrapped around nearly everything near this structure and the tower itself.
Okay. Actually, I have the walkie-talkie. I'm going to page Crowin with this information. Say, hey, there's this thin wire wrapped around the trees here, and I have no idea what this other thing is. It looks kind of humanoid in shape. I don't entirely trust it. It comes to mind. It might be not like a tripwire, not to trip somebody, but like to trip like a trap kind of thing, or maybe just some sort of warning even. Should I try to avoid it? Should I intentionally trip it? What do you think?
You should definitely avoid it. It's definitely a trap, and if I were up there, I could probably try to disarm the trap. But I'm not there. I'm currently...
Roll an Arcana check, Crow.
13. I don't know what my... wait, I do have an Arcana, actually.
You'd have it. I don't know how good it'd be, but...
Where's it at? Arcana. I got +4.
+4, wowie. When you hear Nick say silver... Or you hear him say wire, you've heard tale of a spell called Alarm. And what that spell does is its main components is a silver wire. That silver wire is wrapped around whatever perimeter and like in between different things, just kind of like a maze, from whatever space that you want to know when someone enters. And so by stringing this around a wizard, perhaps, like, could string it around their room at an inn. And so they'd go about their business, and then if anybody entered their room, they would immediately understand that somebody had entered, and that so it is an alarm system. It is procced by somebody stepping through or onto these wires, and when that happens, the caster will know that something has entered this area. Okay. And vaguely, they won't know its name or more information about it. They'll just know that something of a certain qualification is something that can also be set when the spell is cast. So they can understand, like, they can differentiate. You can even set it so that certain things can come through unhindered. It won't set off your alarm. So if you had like a roommate or something, you could qualify them to enter freely and not set off your alarm. So that is what this is. It is a spell.
Okay. So I relay that information to Olivius, and I am not 100% sure how we can proceed. And you mentioned this weird structure. I'm guessing it's most likely something that's not good for us. And when we have these cultists here, we probably will... they haven't approached this place. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe they tried to approach it, and that's why they're waiting for us.
Interesting.
I will ask them. And I'm going to roll a D20 for this, because I'm going to need to get some information.
Okay.
That is 16 plus 4.
Right.
So I'm going to ask them, has any of you men ever, like just broadly, has any of you men ever tried to approach the dragon's tower?
We've not been so bold as to directly approach the tower. We have watched from a respectful distance. We've tried not to make ourselves known. We've been waiting for the proper time. So no one has approached directly the tower.
And why are you hiding in a house?
We wish to be close to the Green One. We're waiting for the opportunity. We are...
And you've watched people come and go from this tower?
There haven't been many. Again, this is a blighted land.
Okay, you said there hasn't been many. Who has approached this tower?
We haven't seen anyone approach the tower. we've seen several people come and go. But when I say several, I mean like 2 over the period of several months. Ourselves have only been here a month or 2 at the most. Anyway, it is very quiet. We had known of the druid. We had not approached him either. He seemed to respect distance, and so do we. So we kept to ourselves.
Okay. If they are hiding something, they're clearly just not going to tell me. I mean, even with my dice roll, they're just probably nothing.
They're not hiding anything.
So
you
chances
see that they're being fairly.
Yeah. So chances are, Livius, I don't think they even know anything about said trap, and I don't know how we could possibly proceed without setting it off. I mean, I could try to disarm it, but I'm not sure. I'd probably have to roll pretty high because it's a magic trap. I mean, traps are all the same, aren't they?
Let me.
Because I have a disarm trap ability, which is pretty common for a rogue.
Let me look up how this works.
Yeah. We can always do the condendum and do the disarm.
I think it's not really a trap.
It's just an alarm system.
It's a spell. So it acts similar to a trap would, but its nature is arcane. So to get rid of it, you would need to dispel it. And
do you want to try to dispel it?
Can I just dispel a spell?
Let me see here. Oh, actually, magic device traps. Oh, it's a magic device trap, and they use an alarm. Search and disable device DC. Traps all look like they have DC. You could give it a shot.
Dispel magic.
Yeah.
Choose any creature, object, or magical effect within range. And higher level.
That's an actual spell.
It's an actual spell.
Ah.
I don't think you... Well, here's the thing about wizards. Technically, like, depending on how we played this campaign, the spells that you would know would be the ones that you have copied to your spell book.
Okay.
What we can assume is that through your studies and your recordings is that you have accumulated a number of spells and have copied them down, but you have not, you might not have reached the proficiency to actually use them or understand them, but you had plenty enough time to copy them down.
Okay.
The problem with this is that what you're supposed to do with these spells is that as a wizard, you basically load them. So you choose which spells that you think you'll need for whatever day, and you prepare them, and then sometimes you even have to, like, some things, like to use resurrect, like you need like a diamond that's worth like 10,000 gold. So it's like there's a cost portion to some of these things where they have, but generally speaking, I think, what level? Dispel Magic 5th edition.
It has it up here.
It's probably like a first level spell. First or second.
It is a
3rd level. So you might be familiar with Dispel Magic. Bard Cleric do it. Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell 4th level or higher on the target, DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, the spell ends. So 10 plus the spell's level, and so you would roll to... Okay. So, yeah. if you burn a 3rd level spell slot, do you have those? I don't know. You are 3rd level, but I don't think you have 3rd. Yeah, it's
I have 2nd level is all.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't cast the spell magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how else we can proceed without setting this thing off.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. What I think I'm gonna do is, since in my head, since it's wrapped around this figure, this spell, this alarm spell, I'm gonna stay outside the ring, but I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the figure. Gingerly get closer to it, just to kind of take a little bit of a closer look at it to see what it might be.
Okay. Roll a d20, and then roll a d20 again.
Is about to be that. 13.
13.
17.
17. All right. Yeah. You approach it without incident. And upon inspection, the sense of unease and anxiety increases as you get closer to it. Nothing happens, but you are fairly certain now that this thing is magical in nature. And with what you know about magic and the things of how things work, and the shape of this thing, as it looks kind of humanoid and hollow, you imagine this must be a golem of some sort.
I actually was gonna say it, but I didn't want to be like it's a golem because it's like it's a character thing. I think you probably already knew that too.
Possibly.
Yeah, I already immediately when I saw it, I was like, when you described it, I'm like it's a golem, but I'm like I don't want to be like
it's a golem, but it's half finished.
Yeah.
It's only the frame of it.
All right.
You again, you're filled with unease, but you don't understand how this thing would operate in its current state. It's unfinished. How could it possibly come together?
Probably by stepping on that trap.
Poorly and violently.
Yeah, probably stepping on that trap and I don't know. But what I was gonna say is it's like 10:13, and I'm feeling the hungers and the sleepies.
Okay.
So I think this is a good spot to kind of stop. This is a lot of great progress.
All right.
This is a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for setting this up, man.
Yeah.
This is a lot cooler. Glad that these guys didn't violently attack us. I'm glad my dice were cool tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it went really smoothly. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over to Couch Cam.
Okay.
So what we're going to do this weekend is we're going to play a little Dark Souls and catch up for Monday. But I got Hitman 2, and I'm probably going to play that after I have my own little private time with it. Not that I don't want to be like...
To get so good that everybody can look at it and say, oh, it's so good.
No, not even that. I want to actually enjoy it without saying anything.
Okay.
Because the problem is with playing a game is like you guys want me to... I mean, I could just play it and not speak. Which is exactly what it would end up being.
But you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be staring at the staring at the screen and enjoying the game, and that's kind of what I want to do. But I have it. It's not out yet, but I paid a stupid amount of money for it because I'm a big fan of the series. And
how much money?
I'm not telling you.
Nick said how much money he spent on Train Simulator. I said how much money I spent on Hearthstone.
Okay, I didn't hear either of those.
We both spent around $400 on each of those
fuck,
things.
I'm a drop in the bucket then. Never mind. I spent $100.
Okay.
On a game that I love. It's a series I like.
How much earlier do you get to play it than
4 days.
4 days.
It's not even why I got it for that reason. It's because it came with the expansions.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got the extras.
Do you get any cool shit sent to you?
I don't know yet.
You get any extras? Do you get a gold coin?
I don't think I get any of those. If I do
they ever have any of those? Like,
if you buy them, and it's probably going to be more than 100 if you buy those, because those are physical.
Just like a bust of, like a gray bust of Agent 47.
I would be horrified. Just a bald man. It's like they just take a mannequin.
It'd probably be like him holding his gun with his tie like flying in the air, and it'd look like there was wind, but just like with his. But just from
he doesn't even hold it up. He holds it like to the side, like he's shooting it,
side.
like he's doing the John Wick thing where they shoot under the arm. I don't know. Anyway,
have you seen John Wick?
I've seen the first one,
So
the
that's
second
what I'm
one.
about to say. All right. Third one's wrapped filming. I don't know. They're getting there.
Exciting.
There's going to be horses. For some reason, he's going to be riding a horse.
Well,
and
I
shooting
think
people.
Keanu Reeves likes horses, so that probably lined up.
I feel bad for the horse though. Like both. Well, not necessarily.
Well, Keanu Reeves has been riding horses since the 17th century.
No, I mean like. I mean not for the horse, like in
Bold
the
of
actual.
you to assume that he's only from the 1600s.
Yeah, so that's our first portrait of him. No, I don't feel bad for the horse actor that's been trained to do these things, and because I imagine that's what it's been trained to do, and probably has a decent life. I feel bad for the in-lore horse that has to be ridden, and then somebody's shooting a handgun very close to you, which would be just the worst. Like,
I remember seeing the picture. I can't think of it well enough because I'm just like, because like the second movie ended in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but I feel like, well, actually, I know New York City has mounted police.
Yeah, we have mounted police too.
Yeah,
police horse is going to be trained to deal with that.
Well, I know that they train the mounted division. I know that they go into its stall and then they just kick a kickball until it becomes unresponsive to it. Like, so they continue doing that training to get it like crowd ready. But then, like, even if you did desensitize a horse to like bullets, they're still loud. I feel like there's only a few media that address the issue of how loud and damaging guns are to your ears, and it's Archer. And they talk about his tinnitus as a running joke, where it's like he's been shooting guns so close to himself so long that he can barely hear anything.
That makes sense. But yeah, so on Monday we'll be continuing with Dark Souls. I might drop a stream of Hitman if I'm feeling up for it.
Mm-hmm.
And most definitely we want to pick up on Breath of Fire 4. I got that running perfectly, so no more seizure-inducing things. Please don't do that to my microphone. These microphones, sure. That one in particular, I'm very protective of.
So he's not going to shove it up your rear end?
No.
But he would shove something up your rear end.
I would shove your head up your own rear end if you messed with that microphone. It costs about as much. It costs double the amount of money you've spent on Train Simulator, just for that one microphone. Not these. These are like whatever, but it's that one. That's my work microphone, so I'm very protective of it.
Didn't you buy the one for $400 and then you had to buy the other part for $400?
Yeah, it was in 2 parts.
So dumb.
I know.
I'm so
I thought, yeah, well, it was my fault for not doing research because I was like, oh, it's on sale for half off, and I was, this is a nice mic. I've used it before, and I bought it, and I was like, wow, it's only a battery. I didn't know that was a. I was an idiot, but you know, live and learn. But with that said, we'll be back again on Monday for sure with Dark Souls Dose, playing through that whatever that dragon part is, and we'll also have our characters leveled up so the DLC isn't so it's still going to be hard. Like that was the first DLC. The next 2 are just as hard, or if not harder, especially the Fire Tower, which is the one after the one we're doing, and then the final one, which is the Winter Fortress. Oh man, that one's the hardest. Everything hurts.
A big deal is that our dark flame magic was like everything was resistant to it in that area. So maybe
the frost one. I don't know, but the fire one's gonna be tough. That one was tough even like as a melee, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot, Nick, for driving all the way out here. And Michael, thank you for living here and being my roommate and an awesome friend and all that stuff and bringing back the Suck It. But yeah, with that said, you guys have a good night, and we will see you again on the next Courtesy Flush. Take care and have a good night.